The airport was purchased largely by accident, and perhaps maybe it was destiny at the same time. I'm Steve Fox. I'm the managing member of Virginia Aviation Associates, which is the entity that owns Hampton Roads Executive Airport. Hampton Roads is unique in that it's a privately owned, public use reliever airport. Reliever airport's in Norfolk International, and there are not many privately owned airports of this size, not just in the state of Virginia, but on the East Coast or the country for that matter. In Virginia, there are 67 total airports, of which 9 are towered airports, meaning they have air traffic control towers. And of the remaining 58, Hampton Roads Executive Airport is ranked number 2 amongst those 58, so we're very proud of that. So the combination of being a privately owned airport and having a one-person airport authority, in essence, has allowed us to move very quickly in our growth since 2000 when we purchased the airport. And during that period of time, we've done a number of growth projects, infrastructure growth projects to enhance the facility that we have here, not just for our several hundred base tenants that we have, but also for all of the transient aircraft that use our facility that might be traveling up and down the East Coast. My grandfather flew and my father flew, and I became a pilot years prior to owning the airport or having the opportunity to purchase the airport. And when we found out that the airport was for sale through a common business acquaintance that I had, we came out and took a look. And at the time, it was actually my flight instructor Andy Gibbs and my father, who both flew, both flew, and the three of us came out and took a look at what was here, and that was in the year 2000. At that time, most of the infrastructure here at the airport was dated and deteriorating in condition. There was about 170,000 square feet of hangars, but no new hangar had been built here in probably at least 10 years, if not longer than that. And the runway was 50 years old at the time, dating back to both runways dated back to the original construction of the airport in the 1950s. And the terminal was also a 1950s building. So you can imagine that it was kind of a diamond in the rough, being located at 4 major highways, but it needed a lot of attention. The owner at the time was not a pilot. His interest in that was actually closing the airport and turning the land into a large industrial complex. And so we decided to make a commitment to the FAA, to the State Department of the State Department of Aviation, and to the tenants that were here at the time to turn it around, to invest a lot of money into new structures, new hangars, in addition, new terminal, new runways, new taxiways. And over the course of the 19 years from 2000, when we purchased the airport, to today, over $50 million has been invested in Hampton Roads Executive Airport. So we went from number 5 in the state to number 2, where we rank right now. And we're now embarking on our next phase of infrastructure growth, where we've got another $20 million planned for various projects, including an ILS, which is under construction right now, new fencing, new fuel farm, new wash rack for aircraft, new hangars, and other buildings that will enhance the experience for our tenants and for the transient aircraft that may be flying up and down the East Coast. As a private business person, prior to the year 2000, I would say that our biggest fear was dealing with the FAA and the State Department of Aviation, mainly because my prior life and my prior business dealings were not necessarily dealing with government entities other than paying our taxes, which I do every year. So, but I must say that the biggest surprise and the nicest part of owning the airport is actually the support that we have gotten from both the FAA and the State Department of Aviation, which is the DOAV, Department of Aviation, Virginia. Mainly because the individuals that we've dealt with in both entities, both government agencies, are very pro aviation as a mode of transportation. And they believe in what we're doing here. They believe in all 67 airports in the state of Virginia. They believe in general aviation. And when we made the commitment to the airport not to close the airport and to build the new runway and terminal and the things that we have done here, they were very quick to show us the way, show us the process, teach us the process, share with us the programs that are available on the federal and state level. And particularly with the state, there was a very robust program available in the state of Virginia for general aviation airports, particularly reliever airports. There's commercial service, which is the highest priority, and then reliever airports are the second priority, or second ranking, if you will, higher priority ranking, and then the non-reliever airports. Ranking as a reliever airport allowed us to be eligible for a fair amount of grants that the previous ownership of the airport never had taken advantage of. So we learned the process through reading the manual that exists online from the State Department of Aviation, working with our airport engineers, various airport engineers who helped teach us the process, and by doing planning, which is through the airport layout plan ALP process, which is approximately every 10 years. We've done it twice in 2006 and 2016. And by deciding on what the airport needs, listening to our tenants, listening to potential users, people that wanted to come to the airport but maybe the right amenities weren't there, we then applied for the proper grants on the state level as well as the federal level. On the federal level, those grants were primarily for the runway and taxiway and the runway lighting. And on the state level, those grants are primarily used for aprons and for site work for hangar, aircraft storage hangars, fuel farms, maintenance items, things like that. And over the years, I believe we have received close to 40 different grants and approximately $8 million from the state of Virginia, over $30 million from the FAA. And none of this had been done prior to the year 2000 in the previous ownership. So circling back to your question, one of the nicest parts of owning the airport is the support that we get from the FAA on the federal level and the DOAV on the state level. As it relates to your question pertaining to dealing with tenants, our approach to the airport has been that we are not in the aviation business, that we do not run businesses that compete with anybody on the field. We don't, for example, own or operate a flight school, which a lot of the FBOs at airports do. We don't operate an engine repair shop. We don't operate an avionics shop. We don't operate an aerial photography shop, a drone operation, so forth and so on. And therefore, we are completely impartial and able to treat each of our tenants equally because we don't compete with any of those tenants. And when you have over 200 tenants like we do, if you start competing with any of those tenants, then that creates friction, that creates problems. And so the philosophy from day one that we have used is to be a provider of support, and that is aircraft storage hangars, offices, fueling operations, and the related FBO services that you might find to fueling to help support and make each of our tenants equally successful. And for that reason, I believe that each of our tenants has found it easy to talk to, not just myself, but to our director of operations, to our customer service personnel, to our fuelers, to our office manager who's been here over 32 years. And we have been able to provide very stable and quick response. I like to say I am the airport authority, and we can make a decision within hours, not weeks or months, such as you might find in a municipal-owned airport. There may be some advantages that municipal-owned airports offer, but we feel many more advantages that a privately owned airport can offer, such as quick decision-making and the ability to provide impartial decisions and to be able to provide funding and support and projects that very quickly and on target respond to those needs that we hear from our tenants. As I mentioned, when we bought the airport, we had 170,000 square feet. We now have almost 450,000 square feet of space. And during the period from 2000 to 2019, 19 years that we built that, we have actually done very little marketing. And this facility really has been one of those cliche situations where you build it, they will come. And I think that the location of this particular field being right at the intersection of US 58, Interstate 664, 64, and 264 has attracted a lot of business and recreational tenants. The problem before was that the previous owners had never invested, had never built any new buildings for people to be able to come and use. Once we made that commitment, including the new runway and taxiways and the new terminal, but also the new hangars, through word of mouth more than anything, people have found out about it, and we have enjoyed a just steady flow of new base tenants here. Several of them are businesses. Several of them are aviation businesses, such as flight schools, aircraft management companies. Nightingale, for example, Metro Aviation and operates the Nightingale helicopters, for example, out of our airport, servicing Centera. There are a number of businesses that are located in this area of Hampton Roads that have aircraft as part of their corporations that base their planes here. So a number of businesses have based here. We've also attracted a number of recreational users that have nice planes, perhaps a little nicer planes that with our older buildings in the past, there weren't enough nice buildings to house their toys, their nice toys. And now that we have brand new hangars, a lot of those individuals that just have nice aircraft have come here. We have a number of people that have done very well in life here and have multiple aircraft, and just like a marina where that you would enjoy a boat, or a golf course where you play golf, they come to the airport to enjoy their aircraft, whether they be helicopters or jets or seaplanes. So we have a little bit of everybody. We do have a website that we do marketing through our website. We have sent out emails over to aircraft owners in Hampton Roads, making them aware of what we're doing here at Hampton Roads Executive Airport. Now that it's under ownership of people that understand aviation and are pilots and understand the needs of both businesses and recreational aircraft, and the investment and commitment that we have made, that we would love them to come out and take a look at what we have here. I believe that has encouraged a new reputation that this is the place to be, the place to base your business or to store your aircraft. And one of the interesting things about our philosophy here at the airport is that we have a price for everybody, and we have a price point for everybody, and we have a space for everybody. And what I mean by that is that we have not built just one type of facility here, one type of hangar. We have offices of all different sizes. We have hangars of all different sizes. And we have T-hangars. We literally have 6 different size T-hangars. We probably have 10 different size corporate hangars for larger aircraft. We have business hangars that have offices attached to them. And we still have some of the buildings that existed from the 80s and 90s, and we have, as I mentioned, over 300,000 square feet of newer hangars. And so it's very difficult to say, to quote a price point per se or a price, because we have so many different types of buildings available. But the tenants that have come here usually never leave. In 19 years, I can probably count one or two people that have left our airport for other places. And that is because when their businesses change, there's always a larger building or hangar or office available for them to move into when they expand their business, expand or increase their employees, increase their number of aircraft, so they can move into a larger hangar. And as maybe business gets tough or they change in their life, their life plans, and they might semi-retire or downsize, or through the recession that we just went through in 2008 to 2012, then our tenants have been able to actually downsize, but they've never had to leave the field. Most do not want to leave the field. The only reason somebody has left the field is because we did not have that particular size or type of space for them. So that's one of the advantages. So our advantages are obviously our location that we've talked about, the size of our square footage, but most important, our people. We have some of the most well-trained and likable and passionate staff on our fuel line and our customer service team here to service all of your needs. And we welcome you to call us at 465-0260 or on our fuel line 488-3166. area code 757, or go to Fly PVG, that's FLY PVG, like Papa Victor Golf, which is our acronym, just like JFK. Our acronym is PVG, Papa Victor Golf. So come see us at flypvg.com or 465-0260. Thank you.